Hey, welcome back everybody, and so many apologies for not doing any updates recently. I've been incredibly busy with my main job. It's been kind of crunch time, so I've been having to throw hours there. Plus, I've just had things come up. Anyway, that doesn't mean things haven't been getting done, but yeah, it's been crazy. So anyway, just want to do a little video update as quick as I possibly can because I've actually created some pretty cool new things. This is Forward Under the Stars right now, the project in Unity. One thing though is I've actually switched gears a little bit because what I've been trying to do. Oh, I need to say first and foremost too that this is going to be a little bit more of a techie kind of demo than or video than usual, but I do have some gameplay that I want to showcase as well. But anyway, one of the issues I ran into was with the AI routines of the starships. They're effective, I guess, but highly limited. Now, the cool thing about it is if I go to these AI routines over here, I have things like, let's find a nice good one. There we go, patrol area. So what I have is I have a ship action manager, and this whole thing is clicked together, and that is really nice. I love the fact that I built this from scratch, and I love the fact that I can just click together different things. So is weighting, hull strength, all those kinds of things, and I can just set up a condition, and if that condition passes, then it'll execute the actions. And I can do all sorts of different things, target near a ship, and I can define target alignment, so I can target hostile ships, make sure they're in the same system, all these different things. And it's also extendable too in code. So basically I have an interface, and all I have to do is create a class that implements that interface. And once I do that, this system will pick that up and automatically add it. So you'll get target near a ship or identify target. All these different things are classes which implement that particular interface. Really cool. The downside is it's just so not flexible. And I realized this a little bit too late. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, what would be flexible though is a scripting language. And so I went online and I started looking for solutions for that to see okay, let's replace all this with just more code. But instead of writing it in Unity, let's use a typical scripting language. So I looked at languages like JavaScript. I looked at Python and Lua. And I also found this one that looks kind of interesting. It's kind of a cool little concept called Freedom Script that somebody designed from the ground up just for Unity. And so I looked at all of these and I thought to myself, this is kind of cool, but I don't get the organization structure that I really wanted from it. So I kind of thought a bit and I was like, well, what if there just existed a general scripting language that gave you a pretty good handle of organizing different components of your project? And that could be a Unity project or it could be something completely different. It's just a .NET based scripting language that works for any .NET project regardless of it. It doesn't have to be Unity basically. And so I came up with something that I call AxScript. And AxScript it stands for Application Extender. I know, I'm inventive, but it does the job pretty well. So the idea with AxScript basically, and let me see, also I apologize if you're hearing crazy sounds outside because it's nutty here. I live right next to a city road. Anyway, the cool thing about AxScript is I have the ability to create what I call definitions, and definitions are completely custom. And you just simply give it a name. So this is my definition. This is called the semantic of the definition. And then I give that particular definition a unique identifier. And I can have multiple of any semantic that I want, but every semantic and ID pair needs to be unique. But anyway, that's all internal stuff. The point is that now I can do stuff like I can define a planet. I can define a faction. I can define another faction or another faction. I can keep on going. And as you can see, this is a decent way of storing information about that particular thing. And it also allows me to create hooks or actions, functions, whatever you want to call them. And these functions allow me to do actual processing of code. This is actually a fully fleshed out scripting language right here. It doesn't support looping structures, but that's a different story. That's intentional too. I'm not going to go into detail. But yeah, it allows me to define information. So like I can basically say, hey, this I need to define the player faction. So player faction ID, well, we define that as the NSR. If we scroll down here, we will find the NSR, and this is the Northern Star Republic. And this also has a begin. So once this is instantiated, it'll call begin, and then these things will happen. And right now we're creating enemies for UEC and the Syndicate. And those also, as you can see, Syndicate right here, UEC's around here too. I think it's the top one. So all those things are defined as well. And it's a really great way for me to define how I want my game to work. But as you're probably noticing, if you get over here, we still have things like conditions. And so that also needs to exist. Like I need a way to process all of this, be able to determine the state of the system and be able to make decisions based off the state of the system. Good example being, are there bad guys nearby? If there are bad guys nearby, then maybe I want to engage them. But, well, my food just fell over. But maybe I don't want to engage them because my health is too low or something like that. So if we scroll down here, you'll see that we have unit behaviors. And just ignore this. I was messing around with, yeah, we're ignoring that. But anyways, we have unit behaviors, which allow us to define a ship class and essentially just go, hey, for frigates, we're going to have a patrol action that, if it's in a patrol state, then it'll call this every single frame. And the first thing it's going to do is look for a nearest enemy. And if it finds it, then great, it's pretty much set at that point, and it'll go attack the enemy. But if it doesn't find it, then it just flies to a random position. So, and there's a hunt distance. You can set all these things up. This is one of the nice things about having the fields up here is I can have all this crazy stuff going on, and then I can define like my ranges and things like that up at the top, so I don't have to go in here and mess with that. But the biggest thing you'll notice is, yeah, that's an if statement. So this is actually branching code. If this fails, it'll do this. Otherwise, if this succeeds, it'll just skip this entirely. So this is basically typical programming right now, and AxScript supports it, making it incredibly useful for making decisions in game. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Like as you can tell already, this is a unit behavior, but I've defined factions. I've defined the planet, which all I'm really doing is setting a day-night cycle by rotating the planet. This will be Thebes, which I featured in Forward Under the Stars recently. And yeah, I can also create different things all over the place, throw some asteroids down, build some frigates, create some random units all about. And this, I think, is going to make things a lot more flexible. But so how does this compare to this older system over here? And that's why I created the new project, which right now I'm just simply calling Solar Conquest. I didn't really have any plans for this to actually be anything like a big game or branch off from it or anything, but it's kind of cool. So hopefully this will record, but I'll show you guys how this thing works. And having seen this script, this is live script. This is not just something that I threw together and said, hey, it'd be nice if this works. No, this is actually being executed in Solar Conquest. So this is how the unit behaviors essentially work. So we'll go ahead and play that out. And Solar Conquest is a bit different than Forward Under the Stars. This is actually a real-time strategy game, a much more pure real-time strategy game. The difference is, any day now, boom, we're on an entire planet. Yeah, we can go all the way around this planet. And you may also notice that the planet looks pretty decent. I mean, there's no like clouds or anything like that. I'll be working on that. But remember how I said I had a better planet? Well, this is it. And it's not half bad. It gets a little tiled here and there, but yeah, we can actually go down a little bit. And you can see there's actually like finer details in the ground. My texture work could use a little bit of love, but it's not terrible. There's some mountains off this way, which look a lot better. So as you can see, you can kind of get an idea of what's going on here, and it's not half bad. So looks like we got somebody flying around here. There we go. So right now we are the Northern Star Republic, which may or may not make an appearance in the game, but I just threw them down anyway. This is Free World Alliance. You will notice that I am not controlling it. The AI is using that patrol behavior that we talked about earlier, and since there's nothing around here for him to shoot, he's just flying around, looking for bad guys essentially. And yeah, we're friends with him right now, and we actually have 2 frigates over here. And I went ahead and made this a little bit on the, RTS side, so I can actually issue like follow commands and things like that. But we can actually get into battle, which is a lot of fun, of course. Let's see. Ooh, let's go this way. There's a bad guy over here. So right now everybody basically looks the same, but hopefully, yeah, I just really want to showcase this whole thing, like how it works is just so amazing. So, sorry, I think it's amazing. I'm happy. I'm stoked about it. Okay, so one of the things that just happened is this guy was doing his normal fly routine, I think, unless he just got lucky here. And at some point, he realized that we were coming towards him. Basically, we entered his aggro range. And because of that, now he's coming after us. And I've actually gone ahead and added multiple collision checkers on each of the frigates. There's two of them, front and back. And so I have armor plating per each. And so if you attack a frigate head on, which is what we're going to do at first, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But if we come around the back with this guy over here, and then we tell him to attack, now we do a lot more damage to him. So, and you may have noticed, the effects don't look half bad. I've been playing around with the particle system. I think I'm getting better at this. There we go. And yes, we will let it explode in gloriousness. Takes about 10 seconds. Poof. So not half bad. I mean, it's not a whole lot to go by, but I do have a question for you guys. Do you guys want me to continue working on this and turning this into an actual game? I can either work exclusively on this. I could try to work on both Forward Under the Stars and the Solar Conquest demo. Or I could work just on Forward Under the Stars. Bear in mind that all the technology that I've created for Solar Conquest was indeed intended for Forward Under the Stars. That's the whole reason I built this, was as a test bed for it. So either way is totally doable. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this little demo. It's really fun to just have these little guys go and fly off into different directions. And yes, they are massive polluters. As you can see, they leave quite the black cloud behind them. I just thought that was kind of fun. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your feedback. If this looks fun to you guys. I have a lot of ideas for it that I think will make it really interesting. In fact, a lot of them are based off ideas I had for Forward Under the Stars. They're going to be a lot more simplified. I may even have to make an executive decision and choose this over Forward Under the Stars, simply because I need to make a product, and this is a lot easier to work with. But I will let you guys throw your 2 cents in. Certainly Forward Under the Stars is something I really, really, really want to do. This would probably end up a prequel, and it would probably be under the Forward Under the Stars banner. I will probably just call it Forward Under the Stars Solar Conquest or something like that, because, hey, the name's not long enough. So anyway, write what you guys think in comments, and subscribe if you want to keep up to date on Forward Under the Stars, and watch as development continues. I'll see you guys in the next ones, and thanks for watching. Have fun.